Hello, beautiful people. Hello. Now that we're in the year 2023, it's amazing that we have actually gone through 3 years of a pandemic that has really changed so many lives. The lives that we had before, we always think about before COVID, like what life was like, and how we're just easing back into what life was like, although with a lot of changes. Anyone who is in healthcare knows one of the changes that has stayed where everything else has been lifted is the wearing masks. So in healthcare, if you're going into a healthcare setting, you're going to be wearing a mask. And you're going to be doing a lot of things because anytime you're in a congregate setting, you are 10 times more likely to get exposed to what we call a nosocomial infection, in which only happens in these kinds of settings, like an institutionalized setting where there's a lot of people together. But everyone else has gone on with their lives when it comes to COVID. Everyone else has, jumped back on a plane, gone traveling. People are going about their lives just almost like it was before COVID. But if you're in healthcare, you know that there is no such thing for us. And right now, because this virus has managed to change the trajectory of healthcare as we know it, it's put a strain on every country's healthcare system and not just this one. America has had their share of issues. In the UK, they were having issues to where they are going on strike. So when you look at nurses before and first responders, essential workers, we don't get the time off, or we don't get to turn off from COVID because it is ongoing for us, and it probably will be for probably another. And with the way that the variants are going, I'm going to throw it out there. I'm going to say this is going to be going on probably for another 5 years. Long after I'm going to retire from nursing, because this is very, very tiring. When you see a nurse out there, know this. She is probably really tired. Know this. She's probably being asked several times to work overtime, or she has been asked at least twice for the week to work past her tour of duty. And if you're like me and you're in a remote part of the country, you're separated from your family, and there is really no other life but work and back to wherever you're staying, whether you're in an apartment, an Airbnb, or a hotel. But the travel nursing, yeah, we work hard, but remember, it is at a cost to your personal life. And that's one of the things that you kind of get used to as a travel nurse. And you also get used to your own company, because majority of us are on our own. And if you're like me and do not room with a roommate, I do not make a very good roommate, and you're on your own, so there is that added loneliness that you can get. But at the same time, if you use that time to work on yourself, like I have been doing over the last 2.5 years, is to work on myself and use the time away from my family to be a lot more introspective, be a lot more intentional with what I'm going to do, because I'm no longer and responsible or have anyone to answer to when you are on your own. So this is a time that I actually take to really work on myself. And that includes my physical self. I actually fell off the wagon a little bit. After Christmas, I got lazy. Didn't do anything, you know. Really got lazy. So it's when you're on your own, that's when you have to really motivate yourself to do things. It's so easy just to fall into a rut. But you know what? I spend this time up here and I spend it on myself. But one of the things I will say is that I am not afraid to be on my own. I'm not afraid to be alone with myself because I have come to know myself really well in the last 2 years of being a travel nurse. And I kind of like this girl. She's not too bad at all. And she makes for pretty good company. So now that I have found who I am, all I have to do is to grow exponentially in all the other areas of my life. And that would be my spiritual, my physical, and my finances. All of those aspects of my life will be growing exponentially in 2023. So that's kind of like my little bit of a diary entry, let's say, of what life has been like for me. Can I get an amen? Amen.